You're listening to the official Minnesota Wild podcast, presented by Acrisure.
Middleton gets to it. His drive was knocked down in front. And the Canucks can't clear. Hits Boldy, left circle with Saru. Fires! He scores! Matt Boldy beat Tolopilo 5-hole, and the Wild are off and running.
Good start to the hockey game. Gave the Wild the 1-0 advantage, but the next two go to the visitors. Wild down 2-1 after 20 minutes of play. Welcome to Tom Reid's Hotline. You want to get involved? You can. Text us, 64686. We got a pair of tickets to an upcoming Minnesota Wild home game on the line. Get your own tickets at wild.com/tickets. Good start, Tom, but they're down 2-1 to the last place Canucks. What's going on?
Yeah, I said before, Kevin, these are tough games for when you want to win games going into the playoffs. And you look at Vancouver right now, they're not in the playoffs, but playing very relaxed, very methodical type of game right now also. And I've often said that if you want to slow a team down, you use your body, you hit, and so on. And that's what the Canucks did in that first period. They out-hit Minnesota 11-5 in that first period. And Minnesota right now, they're in that locker room thinking, how we got to counter this, guys. We've got to come up here with a lot more life. Even though Minnesota got that first goal of the Hawk game, which is a big one, give the Canucks a lot of credit. They came back, and they have the lead right now after 20 minutes of play.
All right, let's get to some of these questions. We'll do this after the second period as well, so a double shot at getting Wild tickets for free here from your buddies on the radio. From the 415 area code, Tom, what would you say is the Wild's biggest strength heading into the final 7 games of the regular season and into the playoffs, and what's their biggest weakness?
Well, I mean, you look at the strength right now. There has not been a lot of strength here as of late for Minnesota, but, they've got the talent to do it. I think that's where the strength of this hockey club is. They've added some good pieces to the puzzle, but they've got to put the pieces in place to make sure they're going to work together out here. And I'm not seeing that in the first period. But at the same time, I have to give Vancouver a lot of credit. They are playing the type of game. They won last night. There's a lot of confidence. They beat the number 1 team in the National Hockey League last night by 2 goals, and they are not sitting back at all. Minnesota's, when you look at the weakness of Minnesota, once again, I go back to sometimes the specialty teams, and I think Minnesota is giving up just far too many goals. I mean, they are a team that has to work on the defensive part of the game a little bit stronger.
From the 320 area code, Tom, the Wild have been slumping a little bit. They're down 2-1 here after 1 period of play to Vancouver, but even into tonight, they had dropped 6 of their last 9. When or should the Wild and their fans be worried about the team and the way they're heading into the playoffs right now?
I'm worried right now. I really am. I mean, you're down here to this is 8, including this game, 8 games to go for both of these teams that are on the ice, but the Canucks are playing with a lot of gusto, if you want to say that they have kind of taken the lead here. Minnesota, at the same time, they've got to find a way to get that. Remember how when they were winning, Kevin, they were moving the puck, playing as a team, shooting the puck, getting rebounds, all that stuff. That's kind of backed off a little bit right now. They've got to get back to that standard they had before.
From the 218 area code, Tom, is this a question of chemistry, or is there some complacency in the fact that really they can't go anywhere? They can't go up, they can't go down. Everybody kind of knows where they're going to be heading into the playoffs. Is complacency starting to set in?
I think a little bit. How long have they been that number 3 team in the division? How long have they been that number 3 team in the West? How long have they been that number 3 team? Now they've dropped back a little bit. Some of the teams have overtaken them when you look at the overall picture of the National Hockey League, but they've been locked in that, and there's I don't think there's any way anybody's going to catch them unless Minnesota just falters altogether. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm sure in that locker room right now there's going to be some adjustments made. We'll see if there's going to be any line changes also in the dressing room coming out of there.
Here's one of my favorite topics, and it might be yours as well, from the 763 area code. Hey, Tom Reid, how's Bob Kurtz doing these days? The 763 area code says his second favorite legend after the great Al Shaver.
Yeah, he's doing well. He lives in Wisconsin. I'm not going to tell you exactly where it is, but he's about an hour and 5 minutes from him. I talked to him not too long. I talk to him about 4 times a week. So we've remained good friends, and we get together whenever we can. But during the season, it's a little more difficult for me to get away. But for him, he's got nothing else to do. He can do whatever he wants to do, and I think he does.
Do you think he misses the travel and the rigmarole of calling a broadcast every night?
What do you think? No.
I think absolutely not.
He often said he loves calling the games. I mean, the problem is all the downtime you have and the travel, and you're carrying 40, 50 pounds of luggage when you get those long trips, and it gets a little bit tiring after a while. But when I get to be his age, I'll probably be the same way.
He was never bogged down with those pesky practices, though, or the coaches' meetings in the mornings. Never had to deal with any of that stuff, right?
No, he didn't. He didn't. But he was a great one when it came to calling the game.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, for sure. This one from the 612 area code. Let's talk a little goaltending. Your faith in the goaltending tandem of Gustafsson and Volstead, again, heading towards the playoffs.
I'm pretty confident those two guys will step up. And I've seen Gus in this first period come up with some big saves, especially early on, and he's done a good job of it. I think Minnesota has to realize that, they've got to protect their goaltender. They've got to come back there and help out, get the puck out of the zone as quickly as possible, make sure they've got good coverage in front of that net.
All right. Let's go to this one from... just for the heck of it, from the 651 area code. Tom, the NCAA tournament, they're off this week, but next week it'll be the Frozen Four. Michigan, North Dakota, Denver, Wisconsin. Who's your pick to win it all?
Oh, boy. You know what? I'm going to go with Michigan this year. It's fun to watch the college ranks and what do they bring to the table. I mean, for those kids to be able to play in the big rinks and the amount of accolades that come with that also, I mean, it's a lot of fun to go to those games and do those games, and I've called those games, so I know what it's like.
Michigan's a good pick. Hard to go against Denver, though. If their resume is good, their coach is elite, and they've got a pretty stacked team there. But Michigan's a good pick as well. So you take Michigan, I'll take Denver.
Okay.
All right.
And if I win, what do I get?
Free ride home in your own car.
All right.
Last one here from the 515 area code. I've never heard you answer this. I know that you used sticks back in your playing days, but what stick of choice did you use in your playing days?
They were chopsticks. No, actually, I started with Northland to begin with, and then they paid me money not to use their sticks anymore. And I went to the Sherwood and back to the Northland. So it went back and forth. We didn't have quite the selection they have nowadays. And they're all wooden sticks, too. They were not the composite sticks that we see today that break every time you lean on them.
And again, I bet they were a lot cheaper than, I've gone stick shopping with my kid 3 or 4 times this year.
Yeah.
It's in the neighborhood of $300 to $400, and I'm not exaggerating. It's close to $400 these days. I
remember as a kid, I saved my money, and I had to buy a hockey stick, and it was a Hespler Micmac. I went down to the local hardware store, bought a stick. I used it one game, and the thing broke. It was so dry, it just broke in half. And I took it back, and the guy says, "Hey, I'm not exchanging that." $7 it cost me, but nowadays those sticks they're well over $200.
Oh yes, for sure. All right, Tom, thank you.
Thank you.
Tom Reid with Tom Reid's Hotline. That's part 1. We'll do it again after the second period. So get involved. 64686. We got a bunch of good ones this round, and I'm sure we'll get a bunch of good ones here after the second period concludes. For now, though, the Wild trail the Canucks 2-1 after one period of play. A quick break, and we'll recap it for you. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by Grand Casino. The best place to go for all your Minnesota Wild audio needs is the official Minnesota Wild podcast, presented by Acrisure. Everything Minnesota Wild related, including highlights, press conferences, players, coaches, general managers, and more. It's available on the official Minnesota Wild podcast, presented by Acrisure. It's all just a click away at wild.com/podcast.